So we'll use the chat field to recognize the speakers. So moving on to agenda item number 2, administer statements of officer and oath of office to reappoint members. So oaths of office for our members. We got place 1, 3, 5, and 7 that have been reappointed. Place 7 being alternate number 2. So for those who don't know, members serve for a 2-year period of time and can be reappointed by the city council, and we serve at the leisure of city council. You want us to read it out loud or just read it? Okay. So I'll read out loud. Statement of appointed officer. I, Greg Kadesh, do solemnly swear and affirm that I have not directly or indirectly paid, offered, promised to pay, contributed, or promised to contribute any money or thing of value or promised any public office or employment as a reward to secure my appointment or confirmation thereof, so help me God. And that was the statement of appointed officer. And then the state of Texas oath of office says, I, Greg Kadesh, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of Haslett Planning and Zoning Commissioner, place 3 of the city of Haslett, and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and the laws of the United States and of this state, so help me God. And do you need a verbal confirmation from those on the phone who are, and so place 1 is that Mr. Hilborn's place? Mr. Hilborn's place 1, correct? Okay. Mr. Marcussen, you are place 5. Do you affirm you've read you understand the oath and you agree to it?
I affirm I understand the oath and I will comply with it.
Okay, and who is place 7? And Mr. Wallick, you're place 7.
She's got it. Do I have the right agenda open? Place 7, alternate number 2?
Yeah, he's not alternate. He's not an alternate, though. That's not right.
No. I'm a fully paid member.
You paid your dues, right, Mr. Wallick?
Yes, I paid the dues.
Hey, Greg, this is Matt Hayes. I'm number 7.
Mr. Hayes, you are place 7, the alternate. Do you agree to the, or do you affirm you're aware of the oath and you agree to it?
I affirm that I agree to the oath and I will abide by it.
Thank you very much. Okay, so moving on, items of community interest. So the city offices in the city of Haslett are going to be closed for the holidays on November 25th and 26th, December 24th, December 27th, and December 31st. And then on December 4th, we're going to, from 3 to 7 p.m., there's going to be Christmas in the park, and that is going to be a community-wide event. And if you would like more information, you can go to the City of Haslett's website, and there's all kinds of information about that event. Moving on, agenda item 4, consider for approval the meeting minutes from our September 28th regularly scheduled meeting.
I would like to point out that under section 4C, I guess that's the 1, 2, 3, 4th bulletin, the wording is incorrect for the secondary garages, AB1 parentheses one-sided or parentheses 2 front entries. If the secretary or whoever can go back to the actual recording minutes and put the proper verbiage in there, because that is incorrect.
Yes, it's gonna be the last bullet point in the motion that was here in the minute. I apologize, I did not turn my microphone on, so.
Chairman, just a quick comment on that. When the ordinance was written for that, those corrections were put in the ordinance. And it was a 9-foot wide garage. It was the two primary had to be facing the side. And also there was a comment to add the word massing into the shape of the building.
Correct. So the total, thank you for that additional clarification. So there was a massing comment, which had to do with the total square footage and size of the property, so that there was differentiation within a certain number of houses, left, right, or adjacent, or across the street, or such. There's a couple of items that probably need to be reviewed from the tapes from that meeting. Any additional changes or edits to the minutes from our September 28th meeting?
I'd like to make a motion, we approve the minutes with the corrections that
Okay, there's a motion to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, motion been seconded. We're going to do roll call vote. And we'll start with those on that are attending by teleconference. Mr. Marcussen,
Yes, I approve.
Mr. Wallick,
Yes.
and those in the room by show of hand. Motion passes unanimously. Okay, moving on. Agenda item 5A, hold a public hearing, discuss and consider a recommendation regarding a replat of Bel Grand Estates, being 3.36 acre tract of land currently platted as lots 1, 2, 30, 31 of Block 1 of the Bel Grand Estate. And do we have a staff presentation? Thank you, sir.
Yes, we do. Chairman Kadesh and members of the commission, this is a plat of a zoning case that you heard at your last meeting for 3.36 acres. And the reason for the plat is to take 4 lots and turn them into 6 lots, with the 2 lots being at the entrance of it being over 45,000 square feet, and they're going to turn them all into 20,000 square feet, except for the 2 corners, and they'll be 25,000 square feet at the intersection of 156 and Bel Grand. There was a comment that was made at the zoning meeting concerning the length of the fire lane or the street being could only serve a maximum of 30 units unless the commission approved a note on the plat that said, and a variance that there could be up to 2 more lots, so a total of 32 residential lots. This has been reviewed with the fire department, and they concur with that, and we're recommending that you act accordingly.
Is the applicant present online? I'll ask again, is the applicant online this evening? Okay. So at this time, we'll open the public hearing. The time is 6:41 p.m. So anyone wishing to speak for or against agenda item 5A, if you're online, please put your name in the chat field and we'll call on you. If you're in the room, you may raise your hand and I can call on you from here. Do you see anybody putting their name in the chat field? Okay, recognizing that no one raised their hand in the room or put their name in the chat field, the time is 6:42 p.m. We'll close the public hearing and we'll move to discussion. Does anybody have any questions for the city staff?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman. I'm online. I just could not get off mute. I'm the applicant.
Okay. I will give you an opportunity to add any additional comments that you have regarding the information that was shared by the city staff if you'd like to at this time.
No, that information was perfect. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for being here. Okay, we're in discussion. Does anybody have any questions for the city staff or the applicant?
I would like to make just one additional comment. This, the zoning for this tract has been approved by the city council at their last meeting.
Thank you for that information. And so my question that I was gonna ask, so when we make a motion this evening, do we need to make a motion that there is a note put on the plat that the variance was granted? Or
That's-
should be adopted?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. You would just include that. I recommend approval with the addition of the, with the asterisk comment here on the report. If that's clear. Is that clear? It just needs to be reflected on the plat that there's been a variance granted for that. Correct. That's correct. Are there any other questions? If there are no questions, is there a motion?
I'd like to make a motion, recommend to city council the approval of the preliminary plat, regarding the replat, of Bel Grand Estates as stated in Agenda 5A, and to also note that there's been a variance to the fire code to show on the plat. Would that be good enough?
Okay, there's a motion made. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been seconded by Mr. Hilborn. We'll do a roll call vote. We'll start with those online. Mr. Marcussen,
Aye.
Mr. Wallick,
Yes.
and if by show of hand in the room, in favor, motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Mr. LaFang. Moving on, agenda item
Thank you.
5B, hold a public hearing, discuss and consider a recommendation regarding a final plat of Watercress Phase II being 46.195 acres situated in the J.M. Goodwin Survey Abstract number 611 and the G.W. Lewis Survey Abstract number 966, Tarrant County, Texas. And we'll begin with our staff presentation.
Chairman and members of the commission, this is a Phase 2 of the Watercress addition, and it contains 46.195 acres with a total of 134 lots. It is in conformance with the preliminary plat, and you should have in the packet a letter from our engineer stating that it complies, and as such, we're recommending it.
Thank you very much. Is the applicant here this evening? And if you would, just state your name and address, if you would, for us, please.
Yes, sir. My name is Tom Dayton with J Volt Consulting, and I am here representing the applicant tonight. I'm the engineer on the project. The address that we're at is 830 Central Parkway East, Suite 300, Plano, Texas, 75074. And I don't have anything else to add to Mr. Schwanke's comments, but I'm here to answer any questions that staff may have, or council may have, or sorry, commissioners may have.
Thank you very much for being here this evening. So at this time, we'll open the public hearing. The time is 6:47 p.m. Again, if you wish to speak either for or against agenda item 5B, if you're online, put your name in the chat field. There's no other attendees in the room, so we're not anticipating any additional comments in the room. So we'll give a minute for anybody to put their name in the chat field to be recognized. Have you seen any names entered? Okay, recognizing that no names have been entered in the chat field to be called under in the public hearing, we'll close the public hearing. The time is 6:48 p.m. and we'll move to discussion. Are there any questions for the city staff or the applicant? If there are no questions, is there a motion?
I'd like to make a motion, we recommend the city council the approval of the final plat for Watercress Phase II.
Okay, there's been a motion made to recommend approval. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been seconded by Mr. Hilborn. We'll do a roll call vote again, calling on those that are joined by teleconference first. Mr. Marcussen,
Yes.
Mr. Wallick,
Yes.
and then by a show of hands in the room, those in favor, motion passes unanimously. Thank you, sir. Moving on, agenda item 6 we don't need, which is the executive session, and we don't need number 7, which is take action on anything in the executive session. There is agenda item 8, status of current development projects. There's a report included in our packet. We're not going to go through that in detail. Does anybody have any questions regarding anything that's included in that exhibit? If not, we'll go on to agenda item 9 and just take a quick look at what our November meeting is going to contain. We do know that we've got the CIAC taking place at our November meeting. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, it's correct, Mr. Chairman. We have, I think, 4 or 5 items coming forward regarding development plats that we're going to undertake, and a couple of ordinances they recommended. But it's going to be a pretty busy meeting in November.
Okay. And the meeting is going to take place on Tuesday, November 16th. So the CIC will start at 6:30, and we'll post the start time for the regular P&Z meeting at 6:45 p.m. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Okay. I do know that I will not be in attendance next meeting, so in my absence, Mr. Wallick, would you be available to lead the meeting?
Yes, I guess.
All right, thank you very much.
All right.
All right, moving on, agenda item 11. We're adjourned. The time is 6:50 p.m.
Mr. Quinn, I have a question for you since we're adjourned.
I don't think you can do that in this forum, Mr. Wallick, because the call's going to cease and it's going to disconnect all the lines.
I'll talk to you later.
Okay, sir.
This conference is no longer being recorded.